welcome to the Hangout with Rhea. Of course, it's your girl, Minister Kayla, and today I have with me Pastor Vernon K. King, aka known as Uncle Vernon. So, if you guys haven't watched the message from Sunday, I advise that you stop right now, go watch it, and come back. This is a recap. Again, stop, go watch, come back. I'll give you time. So, Uncle Vernon, Sunday's message, you talked about overcoming low self-esteem, and you used the verse Psalms 139, verse 14. And for you guys, I'm going to read that out to you. Psalms 139, verse 14, read it from the New Living Translation. It says, "Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it." Why did you pick that verse for overcoming low self-esteem?
I picked that because of a lot of things that are going on with our society, as far as we've been dealing with high rates of suicide. We've been dealing with children being bullied. We've been dealing with a high rate of murders because people don't have a value of life because they don't value their own life. And oftentimes it's as a result of how people feel about themselves, and how they feel about themselves, they cast that out upon other people. For you heard the saying that says misery loves company,
right?
But there's also a saying that says hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And so to kind of give people a glimpse to see, in order for them to learn how to love themselves, they have to get back connected with God to see how God sees how they are. And so I thought that was very important to try to communicate.
Awesome. I think that everything gelled so well with you using that scripture, and then especially for you to give us some of your background as to when you was in school and you dealt with low self-esteem. For any students out there watching, elementary, middle, high school, even young adults, if you had to define low self-esteem, what would you define low self-esteem as?
It would be basically a low level of how I see myself. It would be all negative. It would be nothing positive of how I see myself. By calling myself certain names, like I'm so fat, I'm so skinny, I eat too much, or I talk too much, I'm so clumsy. Everything is negative of how I label myself, and how I see myself determines how I feel. Because you have to go back to that word, self-esteem.
Right.
And in order to build self-esteem from low to high, then one has to learn how to esteem themselves. And so I have to change my direction, so to speak, and what I say to me. Because it's very important what you say to you, because whatever you say to yourself, eventually you're going to believe it. And that's why it's so important as well, is surrounding you with other people who will give you those positive affirmations to help you to believe in yourself until you can learn how to believe in your own self. So that is so very, very important.
Right. If you could give a word of advice, or if you could give some positive affirmations to our youth today that may be dealing with low self-esteem, the ones that may be dealing with depression, or maybe not feeling so good about themselves, having good days, then turn around having bad days, what is a word of advice that you would give them?
It ain't that bad. It's being on the other side of it, hindsight being 2020. When I look at all of the people as I was going through school that I was trying to impress, it's a question I always ask my children. How many people from my school do you actually ever see come to my house? Since you've been born, since I am who I am today, how many of my classmates do you even see come to my house? How many of my classmates that we actually go over to their house? So in all actuality, the people that we are trying to impress, once we graduate from high school, many of these people we will never see again. If it wasn't for Facebook, now we have a close connection with a lot of people that I went to school with, but Facebook made it even better for us to stay connected with one another, even though we can't hang out and chill like we used to. But at the end of the day, there's no need of trying to impress people who later on in life are not going to be anywhere to be found. So it ain't that big of a deal. You're not going to die. You know what I mean? You're not going to hurt yourself. So at the end of the day, you have to think about, one of the questions I have to ask myself, what is the worst thing that could happen? even when it comes to dating, and you want to ask a young lady out to the prom, what is the worst thing that she could say? No. What is the worst thing that could happen from her saying no? Will you fall out? Will you stop breathing? No. She just said no. And you accept that and you move on to the next until you can get a yes. So oftentimes I've heard T.D. Jakes said it. He said oftentimes other people's rejection is God's protection. Because I look back over my life now and see the girls that I wanted to date back then and those who I really like, you know what I mean? And I look back now, hindsight 2020, I'm so grateful they said no.
Come on.
So it was God just protecting me from something that I thought that I wanted.
Right.
But he was protecting me, not so much from them, but protecting me from me. Because I discovered along the way, even as until I got married, that my picker was broke. That's a whole nother seminar.
Wow. That's some deep stuff right there. But again, I want to thank you for the message that you delivered this Sunday. It was very powerful. To you guys that are watching this video, if you are dealing with any type of low self-esteem and you need someone to reach out to talk to, we are always here. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Inbox me and we can definitely get you the help that you need. Like Uncle Vernon said, it always won't be bad, but just remember that you have people that you can talk to. Know that you are made in the image of God. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are made in his image, so you are special. You are a masterpiece, and we just want to simply encourage you from the follow-up from the message on Sunday. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please drop them in the comment box below, and we hope to connect with you soon.